some people that prefer to keep their sort of process private.
For someone who's not an actor, he would be like... That was the vision of Justin Kurzel when he talked to me about the movie, that to show their humanity, to show that when you're that much disconnected from yourself, trying to escape feelings, trying to escape your own violence, well, it doesn't lead you to light and hope. It leads you to madness. Yeah. When you lose the connection with yourself, when you lose the connection with your feelings, when you try to avoid your pain and your own violence, and when you don't face it, when you run away from it, nothing good can happen. Mm-hmm. It's denial, and denial leads you to lose yourself.
Do you have to like your characters?
Well, I've never been in a situation where I don't like my character. So I don't know how to answer this question because I don't have the experience of, but I guess you have to, a little bit.
Even when you're playing like a villain, a Batman baddie?
Yeah, yeah, because there are some, you know, you find reasons for the behavior of someone. There's always a reason. I mean, I don't think we come to the world mean or angry. You know, life brings you things that turns you into someone good or someone who's lost it, or you know. There's a reason why you lose your mind. Yeah. I mean, it cannot come like from, you know, just
snip.
Just being monstrous and suddenly because you're so horrible you lose your mind. It's because your humanity comes out and eats you, eats you up. You're swallowed by what's human inside of you, and then you're forced to face your pain, but it's too late when you killed someone, when you spread blood. It's I mean, in my opinion, it's never too late, but for them it's obviously too late because they don't have the capacity to heal themselves. They're just taken in a swirl of violence and unconsciousness that creates madness and the real monster.
The need of recognition, we all have it. We need to be recognized by our parents and our families, our friends, to find our place. And so I thought this aspect of the movie was very interesting, and it was very interesting for me to build the character. Because even if you have recognition, I had the experience to have like kind of a big recognition, and then still the need is in me. So it's been a big question in my personal life. Why do you need to be looked at, heard, loved by so many people you don't even know? And how it can build your confidence in a way, but also how it can destroy you, especially when you don't have enough love for yourself. To have this mirror of so many people who are loving you, there's something that can put you in a situation where you think it doesn't fit. It's not logical, and then it can destroy you more. And we've seen many celebrities going down because the picture is there's something wrong about it.
I guess there's a struggle between feeling like you're exploiting yourself sometimes for that validation or that spotlight, and I think that's just a struggle that creative people have. Is you can't really do it alone, and sometimes you have to hold on to yourself, I guess, so that you're not just completely corrupted by that desperation for approval.
But I thought that was really smart to take a director who will put humanity in every work he does, and who would find humanity in a carpet. Honestly, he's that kind of guy. The connection is going to bring harmony in osmosis. I worked with the Darden brothers, and that was one of the first times I had the deepest connection that I always wanted to live between a director, well, two directors in that case, and an actor, which will go the deepest they can, in every aspect of a story and of a character. They gave me everything I had ever wanted from directors, and they push actors beyond their limits, and but it's never a hard journey, because they're 100% with the actors when they push them. And I felt very lucky that it happened to me that way, with this strength once, and I didn't expect to live it a second time, like in a row with Justin. And Justin is a very, very unique director. He loves actors, and he loves people in general, and it's vital for him to tell a story. It's something that he does because he needs to do it, and as I said, he finds humanity everywhere, and that's what he's interested in. He's interested in exploring human soul, and he's an amazing director for actors. Honestly, this is to watch him work with other actors on set. I mean, the things that I learn from him, it's priceless.
Everything was so rich already in the script and in the what Leos had created, that we actually didn't need to talk much. I mean, the direction was so hard to talk about that. No, he was just asking me to do things, and I did them. Basically.
Yeah. That's right.
I have a tendency to avoid directors who, and it's not a judgment. I mean, there are directors who doesn't know how to speak to an actor, and they do a kind of a genre. I mean, they do movies without this aspect, and it's okay. I mean, it has its place, but not for me. I couldn't be on a set with a director who just do beautiful images and and sometimes magnificent images and direct action like no other. But I need to give everything to someone, and the first person I will give everything to is the director, and I need to have this desire inside of me to give everything. And I worked with directors who didn't give me the desire to give them everything, and it was not good. And my work was not good. The experience was super painful. So today I want to work with directors who ignite this desire inside of me, and I can give them everything.
So you're not a half measures kind of person? You're either all in
Well,
or
I don't
not
want to
very...
be half measured,
Yeah.
measured actor. I don't want to be that person. I need to, I need to give everything.
Yeah.
That's...
I always found as a human being that for me personally, that if I'm not really in it, I'm really not very good. And I think I'm really good when I'm really in it, but I'm not.
You could be good if you're not entirely in the present time, in the, in the here and now. If you're not totally here and now, you cannot be 100% good.
No, but there are people who have that skill. That's kind of their, you know what I mean? There's a craft to that for some people, I think, some actors. And then there are people who really want to be in there.
Well, I really want to be in there. I'm a citizen of this world, and I feel a lot of pain every day. Mm-hmm. So when I can give my voice to someone else's voice who has very important things to say to the world in terms of how we treat it, so I'm very happy to give this voice. Yeah.
Because we went through it yesterday with another event in the United States. It's now become a regular. Yeah. The violence is kind of everywhere, and it doesn't feel very safe any place.
Well, the thing is, we've created this society, and we think that that's going to make us happy, and well, the result is not there. So I guess we need to look at it differently, and we all need to work on ourselves first, because there's no way we're gonna change or make this world evolve if we don't, like each one of us, work on ourselves and see how we treat ourselves, first of all, is the way we treat the planet. So that's what I'm trying to do with my life. It's more than trying. That's what I do with my life, working on myself. And I try to be very honest with the way I treat myself, because it's a reflection of how we treat the world.
Mm-hmm. So were you that person when you were 20 or 25?
No,
or?
Wow. But I was on this way. I was, I was very, very tortured. I felt a lot of pain, and I really didn't, maybe hated myself is, no, it's not strong. It was my reality, and I had to deal with it, and I had the chance to meet people who really helped me to face my fears, and who helped me to be in the present time and not in the past or in the future, and with this brain eating you entirely. So yeah, just, it seems simple, but I know that it's not for people who are totally lost. I was kind of lost, and I found my own way to love myself, even if it's not easy every day, but it's the only way, I think,
And is acting a big part of that, or is it something that you just love and are you happy to have as a profession?
Oh, I think it's a big part of that. Exploring human soul. When I was a kid, I needed to understand how what we're made of, and how all this works. I didn't get the relationships between people. I didn't get the violence. I didn't get the mean things. I didn't understand all this, and I needed to explore the human heart and the human soul to try to start to understand that a world who's led by fear won't go anywhere. Well, I mean, fear is a very, very strong, powerful feeling, but at the same time, if you face it, it can go away in no time, which is, yeah, something I worked on myself, on my fears, and to face them and not to avoid them. And I think it's really what Macbeth is all about. It's when you run away from your fears and when you try to cover them without facing them, it will lead you to madness. And we live in a very mad world where everybody fears almost everything.
Well, it's amazing that we're kind of in a world right now where everybody is talking all the time, whether it's by social media or whatever. It's like there are all these now. Our capability of talking to one another is now endless, and yet people seem to be almost more afraid to be honest about who they are and what they really want. And
well, because it's kind of easy to be protected by a screen, but the energy that people exchange is really powerful, and that's what we need. I mean, you can send like endless text messages or Twitter or anything with love. It will not replace the feeling and the energy between 2, 3, 100, 1,000 bodies all together feeling love and exchanging and sharing this energy.
You can't hate what you know. But as long as we're distant by a screen or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, I mean, it's like, for me, it's hard to talk on the phone. Most of the time to people I don't know. I have like, it's like kind of a phobia. And so expressing myself without using my voice or my body sometimes is easier, but I know that it's covering a fear that I will have to face at one point, because it's like easy on the moment because my fear goes away, but it goes away for like 1 minute when I write and send, but that the next time I will have to face this like problem of communication that I can have sometimes, it will still be there.
But when you actually engage with a human being, it happens. However much fear is involved with doing it, it seems to be
less
comfortable.
And less.
It's relieved afterwards by having done it.
Yeah,
so
well,
dramatically.
and also I worked on it. I mean, when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, I was so afraid of people, but at the same time, I've always been fascinated by them, by us. So I found my way, and acting was one of my ways to connect to people, and I love humanity, even if sometimes I don't understand how we function and how we make this world function. Or maybe, yeah, I do understand. I do understand that we're driven by fear more than by love, and that's why all these horrible things and violence are happening, because that's the way you manipulate people, by fear, by using fear. It's a long way to be aware of what drives you, but if you work on it, it can go very fast, which is interesting because we are very smart.
We forget sometimes.
Yeah. We need to use this amazing brain that is connected to our heart and soul, which can create really amazing things. To be inventive as an actor, for me, is one of the best qualities. When you first read with your partner, it's always
very vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, you think, oh my God, I hope he won't think I'm
yeah, exactly.
so bad, and I'm like, so it's the beginning of a relationship, even with the director. It's
Yeah, it's a very shy moment.
Yeah.
Actually shooting, were you comfortable going into it when production started, when the cameras actually rolled? Or were you still having to search?
Well, I would have loved to be comfortable, but even when I don't go through this rehearsal process, I never really feel comfortable. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for having a strong base so I can, deliver something that is not too controlled because there's something underneath my feet that is really strong.
How did you prepare on the set? How was this experience for you in the set, also with the director? Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
Well, prepare on the set. I came prepared on set. I mean, as much as I could.
Here, I was not aware of, I had so many things to deal with, the dialect, the accent, the powerful darkness of Lady Macbeth, that I never felt really comfortable, but at the same time I thought, well, she doesn't feel comfortable at all. No. Anywhere she is, anything she does, even if she has sometimes strong decisions, she fails. So I thought, well, this is my way of experiencing this shooting, is not being comfortable and be stressed out every day. And I knew that it wouldn't last forever. I had joy out of this shooting too, but I have to say that every night I would go back home and I would be like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm gonna be like, I knew that Justin wouldn't let me be totally ridiculous, but sometimes you're on set and you do a scene and you go back home and you're like, okay, I gave the best that I could give. I don't know how it's gonna read, but sometimes you can have sometimes this feeling of being that you found the authenticity. There, I never knew. I never knew. I never knew if I was doing a good job or if I was doing like total horrible work. When I start a new project, I'm always very nervous, and because I never know if I'm gonna fail or if I'm gonna be okay, or
A lot of actors talk about that feeling, though, as driving them, that sort of sense of that fear, that challenge, that they need that as performers. Do you have that sense?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm not looking for comfort. I'm looking for an experience. I'm looking for to explore more of the human soul. And no, you never know if you're gonna, be authentic. And so that's why I think it's a lot of work to explore every aspect of a character, to find the subtleties, and to create something that is not too big when it doesn't need to be. Hey, I need to give my own interpretation, but at the same time, I need to find the authenticity, and I didn't have to search for something different or unique. I had to create my my own Lady Macbeth without thinking that I should create something different from another actress.
Well, you grew up with a performing family. Your parents were directors and actors. Tell me what they taught you about being a creative person and a performer.
Well, I was fascinated by my parents' job, which was acting, and I thought they had an amazing life, and risky sometimes because you never know if it's gonna last, But I was fascinated by
my parents and also the people who would see my parents do things and get emotions and get, or laugh, yeah, I think, and passion is contagious too, I think.
Well, when I was a kid, they really opened the door of our imagination by everything that was artistic and creative. We experienced it, and but then my parents also told me that being an actor is not just showing up and like learning your lines and showing up on stage and being on screen.
And I always knew that it was a lot of work, and the more you work, the more you have to work. Doesn't make any sense. Well, okay, well, sometimes, you know, like you do a movie and you didn't really work and you had this freshness and then you think that it's easy, but the more you go and the more you're conscious of what you do, the more you have to work to erase this consciousness. More sense?
So to feel more natural, you have to work hard.
Yeah.
To not be thinking so much.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And very early on, I had this notion of if you don't work, then you will dry in a way. And I love working. I love spending a lot of time before a movie to prepare, to get to know this person, to as I said before, explore the heart and the soul of this person, and I love doing that.
So the preparation for the singing was slightly different than any other project that involves singing. So I trained singing, moving a lot, like lying down or walking, running, bending. So that was an interesting way to live the singing. But what is amazing is that you can explore the little accidents of not being able to breathe or not being able to like sing properly, and that was actually interesting what it created.
Yeah. You know, you've aged on screen. You've played somebody with disabilities. Is there anything that frightens you about how you might appear on screen?
Physics? Oh,
yeah.
No, I don't care. I don't know.
That's a very rare position for an actress to be in.
I don't know. I love transforming myself. I would love to play like a monster, for example. Yeah, because I mean, you have everything to create. Something that doesn't exist on Earth must be so interesting, so complex to create. I would love to do that. But yeah, no, when I love a character, you give everything, you have. So I wanted it to be perfect, and I knew it was impossible, and that was really frustrating. Even though we know in the movie that she says that she's French, so for the audience, it's, it sells it. But for me, not being able to, and knowing that there was no way perfection would be part of that project, it was really frustrating. And Michael Mann had to stop me. He had to be like, okay, well, forget about the accent, because I was, But yeah, he made me work a lot, and I really wanted to. Yeah, I really wanted it to be perfect, but then he didn't care about perfection anymore. He wanted me to act, and that was what he wanted. But
It's really impressive that Michael Mann said you were doing too much because he's another exacting director.
Yeah.
Did you?
Well, I was doing too much, but I would never have the perfect American Midwestern accent. So he told me, give up. I mean, I didn't even, I didn't, you know, choose you only because I thought you could have an American accent. You know, well, relax.
Most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing, oh my God, I had so many.
You ever have a bad audition?
Bad audition is, I mean, it was never embarrassing. I mean,
Yeah.
some days you're just super bad.